So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Chinese literature. How many of you have heard of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms? Is there anybody here? All right. How many of you have heard of the Dream of the Red Chamber? Yes, Dr. Yen, of course. There are four very famous novels in China. And these novels go back even before people in the West were writing novels. And these books are known virtually by anybody from China, no matter if they've had a high degree education or not. I'm going to talk 4 points on one of the books.
Time's up.
So that's Yi, San, Sua. 4 points. We start off with the first one. What is the book, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms? Well, here is volume 1. There's 120 chapters in the 2 books that we have in English. 800,000 words. Now think about the ordinary novel that we have, maybe, 100,000, 200,000. So these are very comprehensive books, and this one was written by a man named Luo Guanzhong. Now, Luo Guanzhong, in a way, is the Shakespeare of Chinese literature. The book and the romance that he put together was not his creation, just like Shakespeare. What Shakespeare wrote about was not his creation. He was using all of the past, whether it was Greek or early English or Middle English, using that to compile his plays. This book was compiled over at least 1,500 years. People would come up with different parts and add it on. And finally the author came up with what we consider to be the final one. And this is the book that now people in America and in Europe read, The Dream of the Three Kingdoms. You should know, too, that in Chinese literature, this book was not always considered to be the highest literature, but actually on the bottom. And the official texts that they have in China for literature, our people in the West don't think much of those. Just like in China, they don't think much of these texts. But today we have come to understand the beauty of these 4 novels. That's Yi. We now move to What are the books about? Well, in China, history is more important to people from China than to most of us in the West. And the book is really about the period of time after the Han Empire, about our era, 210 or 220 AD, fell apart. And why did it fall apart? Because people had gotten in control who were corrupt, who were decadent, and had forgotten really to take care of the people. And when that empire fell apart, there were various people that wanted to recover the unity of that empire and to get back to what China should be. And so for the next 100 years, roughly, 200 to 300, people tried to set up the kingdoms, and that was the Three Kingdoms. And eventually that did become a new empire. Now this book has all the different stories, and do you know how many characters are in the book? Over 1,000. There's 1,000 people that you would have to remember as you go through the book.
Name them.
Give me a couple hours.
Just give us the first 5. Not gonna work.
That book then contains the history of all the wars, the marriages, the fighting, the trickeries that went on, the deceits, the good people, etc. So that is what the book is about. That's her. Now to move to San 3.3. In the book, and these books are known by people in China, there are examples of morality of good people and bad people. The good people, those that are virtuous, that are loyal, not corrupt, like one gentleman, for example, he not only would not take bribes, he wouldn't even pay bribes. So there are characters that exemplify different good characteristics of people, but also evil characteristics. There are people in the books who betray after promising that they would serve loyally. Other people who steal, people who are corrupt, people who misuse ordinary people. So the third point is that in this book you have the characteristics of the best and the worst of Chinese culture. The book also has various sayings in it. And these proverbs people in China know. Like one of them goes something like this.
Yes.
Your brothers are like your bones. Your wives and your children are like your clothes that you wear. The clothes can become tattered, right? And you can shuffle them off if they die or whatever. But your brothers, being the bones, you can never really affect them without destroying yourself. That's one saying. There's also military strategy in the book. One military strategy goes this way. Create something out of nothing. Create something out of nothing. Think of some of the things that famous generals have done. A general outnumbered. What does he do? Lights a whole bunch of fires at night in his camp to show what? That he has many more troops than the other side will ever know. So create something out of nothing, and there are a whole group of other strategies that come through this book. We finally get to what? Sua, right? Sua. We have Yi, San, Sua. Sua, point number 4. Point number 4 is actually the beginning words of the book. And the words go this way. An empire long divided must unite. An empire divided must unite. And the second part is that an empire long united must divide. This is the way it has always been and will be. What does that mean? There are high times, good times, and then we get to bad times. And when we're in those bad times, we should remember the bad times will eventually change to good. Which will eventually become bad, then be good, etc. But this is the cycle that we go through. Every country, every ethnic group, every family, in fact, goes through that cycle.